Hey, you're watching Half Asian Tarot Queen, and I'm Elisa, and I'm doing a reading for the Virgo full moon, which is coming right up. I'm doing kind of a reading dump leading up to that because I've been getting a lot of energy lately. But when I split the deck, I got the Nine of Cups, and I got the Nine of Pentacles and the Seven of Wands. So that's interesting. It's like the Nine of Pentacles is sort of someone who's like independent, you know, they're kind of on their own. It's a single person who's successful. They've got everything going on. The only thing they're really missing is the 10th Pentacle, like the family situation. But there's also like the Seven of Wands, which is a card of sort of like having to stand your ground and like maybe defend yourself. So it's like the message that kind of comes through with that is fighting for independence. So that's really interesting, especially since like a lot of things I've been relating back to the whole Ukraine crisis lately, and that definitely fits. But yeah, so I guess this reading's going out to all you freedom fighters out there. But I'm starting with the Radiant Wise Spirit, and I'm going to get some overall energies, and then we'll kind of go from there. All right. So at the bottom, we got the Eight of Pentacles. So this is a card of hard work and kind of nose to the grindstone and like getting her done. We got Temperance. We got the Four of Swords. We got the Eight of Wands, and then we got the High Priestess. So that's really interesting. I mean, it looks like this fight for independence is going to require some hard work, you know, but like we have like manifesting and like things being brought into balance, and sort of like the end of an era, and sort of like kind of taking a moment to maybe sort of like regroup and like think about, you know, how we're going to move forward. But then we have this message coming in. But what's interesting, so this is like a message that's kind of can be like a game changer or something that's changing fast. But what's interesting is that this message is going to this highly intuitive person, which kind of suggests that it's like maybe like an intuitive message. It's not maybe as much of an on-the-ground message, but this highly intuitive person is maybe getting some sort of inspiration about how they're going to move forward from here. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's going to take work to, like, dig out of this situationship that's going on. Okay, so I'm going to go to the I'm going to the Mystical Shaman Oracle, and yeah, it's really interesting what's coming out so far. Okay, this is really interesting. One more. If you're new to the channel, thanks for checking it out. Okay, so at the bottom we have Vision Quest. This kind of reminds me of Fame, I'm gonna live forever. You know that? Because she's like dancing. But this is someone who's really like going on their path, you know. They're following their dreams, and they're kind of also being led, you know, and they're being guided by their heart, you know, but they're like going for it too, you know. We have the Giveaway, the Time Master, Earth, and the arrows. So this is really interesting because, well, this is a card of karma, and like what you put out there is gonna come back to you. And then the Time Master, it's kind of a card of sort of like releasing karmic cycles in a way. It's just sort of like there's like maybe these recurring patterns that have happened in your life, and it might be this sort of similar situation that happens over and over again. Like you attract the same type of person that you have a bad relationship with, or or you know, like the same relationship with someone who's sort of taking advantage of you, or you know, and you can't really understand like why it keeps happening over and over again. Well, with the Time Master is a thing where you finally sort of like understand like, oh, like this is what I'm doing to attract this energy, and you switch that within yourself so that you sort of like shake up the time machine, and then like it like stops, like you break the pattern, you know. So this is sort of like a card of karma, and it's a card of like breaking the pattern. And then we have the Earth, which is kind of like an on the ground perspective, and this like came up in a reading recently, and it might be like the reality on the ground is epic. I'm gonna put it here, but it kind of suggests, and it's interesting because like I think this Virgo full moon is all about like releasing karmic cycles, and that's kind of what this speaks to. Like it's talking about releasing karmic cycles, and this being the reality that's on the ground. It's like some pattern that's happened forever and ever and ever. It's like when you pull your arrow and release it into the universe, like your arrow is going to hit the mark. Like finally you've like cracked the code that's going to like break you free so that you can go on your vision quest, you know. It's like, yay, I'm free. So that's a really interesting message, but it's also like it's almost like it's like an intuitive message that's gonna come to someone for the Virgo full moon. So that's really interesting. Something, but it's gonna shake things up on the ground. That's the thing. Okay, so when I pulled out the Intuitive Goddess, I got at the bottom the Sun. So that's really good. Like that's the best, happiness, fulfillment, abundance, like everything that was at the bottom. So this is a good auspicious omen, but we'll see what else we get. Oops. Okay, so this fell out. We'll see what we get on the rest of the cards. The you know, as you may have noticed, the reality on the ground has been very, well, like I said, epic. That was a reading that I pointed to earlier. But, you know, obviously with everything that's going on in the world, like it's pretty clear that there's like some time-tested sort of dynamics that are being tested. And people are just like, we're not going to do this anymore. Like, we're moving forward in a new way, because like this is like unjust and unfair, and like we're moving on from this. Like that's a thing, you know. Okay, oh my gosh, so this looks super climactic, but we got the Nine of Cups at the bottom, so that's a card of like wishes coming true, wishes being granted at the bottom. But it looks like it's going to be like quite the fight to get there, because we got the Warrior of Swords. So that's the Knight of Swords. So this can be like a harsh message or a harsh truth like coming up. And then we have meditation, which is sort of like taking a moment for yourself and like thinking about, like taking a time out and thinking about, like, you know, really like, what am I willing to sacrifice in this situation, if it's worth me engaging, you know, like And what's really the best, like, what is my intuition like guiding me to do, and how to like move forward. And we have this Seven of Wands again, which is the card of having to stand your ground and like really like defend yourself, you know. And we have a Five of Cups, which is a card of like loss and sorrow, and you know, like there's 3 cups being spilled, but there's 2 cups that remain. So it's like there's these karmic cycles that are ending, and we're gonna probably have to let go of some situations or things or people that are holding us back, you know, and build something off of what is left, because we're breaking out of whatever this karmic cycle that's been holding us back. But it looks like there's going to be a lot of fear and anxiety that's going to be released when we finally break free from this. I mean, this is a battle for independence, and it's like not going to be easy, but ultimately, you know, it's going to be successful, and it's going to be worth it. But it looks like it's also going to be a difficult, epic sort of situation. Okay, so when I pulled out this Queen of the Moon Oracle, when I split the deck, was interesting. So these like totally match each other, these cards, which is really interesting. And we got patience and we got will. And it's interesting because one of them's like sort of like peeking through this curtain, and one of them is like peeking through this cave, a cheese cave. Patience and will is what's gonna get us through this Virgo full moon. So yeah, I mean, that really goes along with the first card of just like, you're gonna have to like stand your ground to like win your independence. So stick with it, and don't give up.